Previously, we saw an empire glittering in love and music, the Tang Dynasty at its peak under Emperor Xuanzong and his beloved Yang Guifei. But behind the golden walls of Chang'an, shadows had begun to stir. What began as a legendary passion would soon become the ruin of a dynasty. Among those favored in the imperial court was a man named An Lushan. He was a portly and seemingly playful general who charmed his way into the heart of the empire. He entertained Yang Guifei with jokes and quickly won the emperor's absolute trust. Blinded by this apparent loyalty, Emperor Xuanzong granted him command over vast armies and entire provinces, never once imagining betrayal. But in the year 755, betrayal came. An Lushan, the trusted general, raised his banners in rebellion. His armies thundered across the land like a storm, leaving a trail of devastation. Cities burned, and a wave of terror swept over the people. The once mighty Tang court, the symbol of civilization and power, was forced to flee west, the empire's glory collapsing into dust and ashes behind them. Their desperate journey came to a halt at a place called Mawei Post. Here, among the exhausted and demoralized imperial guards, hunger and fury finally boiled over. They surrounded the emperor's entourage, their voices raw with anger, crying out, "The Yang clan has ruined the realm. Guifei and her family brought this upon us. Without their blood, we will not march another step." The emperor turned pale, his eyes wide with a despair he had never known. He looked at his beloved, the woman for whom he had moved mountains, the center of his world. In the dim, flickering light, Yang Guifei's tears shimmered like fallen stars. Her voice was a soft whisper, yet it cut through the soldiers' roars. "If my death can save the empire," she said, looking into his eyes, "then I will go without regret." Emperor Xuanzong's voice broke into heart-wrenching sobs. "If you die," he cried, "my soul dies with you." He pleaded, he argued, but the soldiers would not yield. Their blades were drawn, their resolve was iron. And so, beneath the somber shadow of a small temple, with the army as her witness, Yang Guifei, the most beautiful woman of her time, ended her own life. The beauty of an entire age was gone forever. The An Lushan Rebellion dragged on for a brutal 8 years, leaving the once prosperous land in utter ruin. Millions perished. Though the Tang Dynasty ultimately survived, it was a mere shadow of its former self. It never regained its golden glory. Years later, Emperor Xuanzong returned to a scarred and silent Chang'an. His hair was now white, his spirit utterly broken. He was an emperor in name only, a ghost haunting the halls of his own memories. Sometimes, when the faint sound of music drifted through the empty palace, he thought he could hear the song of rainbow skirts and feathered robes once more. In his dreams, he saw her dancing in a shimmering mist, her smile as radiant as ever, calling softly to him, "Majesty." He would reach out, desperate to hold her again, but his hands would close on nothing but shadows. Their legendary love lived on, forever remembered, not just as the pinnacle of passion, but also as the tragic prelude to the ruin of an empire in everlasting sorrow that would be told and retold for 1,000 years. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through one of history's most poignant tales. If you were moved by this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more chapters from the past. We'll see you in the next video.